Welcome, miniature fans. I've had a lot of people get in touch with me and they've asked me how to become a commission painter and what does it involve, and can I make a living doing commissions for miniatures? Well, the answer is yes and no. It is a very, very tough journey. I have made it a successful business for myself, and it's taken me 4 years. The first 2 years of being a commission painter was not taking any commissions. The key to becoming a commission painter is to promote yourself first. Now, I spent 2 years on Twitter building up a following, and I posted miniatures, my painted miniatures, every day on Twitter. So the key is to use social media to your advantage. Now, what I did was I started off with Facebook to begin with, but Facebook did not work for me. So again, it depends on which social media works for you. Facebook was more family and friends. I couldn't get my work out to the people I wanted to see my work. So I started a Twitter account, and with Twitter, it is fantastic for small business. It's a worldwide showing off all your miniatures. So what I did, I started posting every day, a Reaper miniature or any other miniatures I was doing at the time. And it turned out that people liked my work, and I kept it going, and I kept it going, and I kept it going. And after 2 years, I decided to start a Patreon. Now, a Patreon is a fantastic way to build an income from your fans, and you can also do tiers on Patreon where you can sell your miniatures. Now, what I do on my Patreon is I have tier levels, and each tier level I can sell one of my painted miniatures and then send it to my Patreon every couple of months. And I started doing that, and I sold out instantly. The first day I started my Patreon, I had reached $100, and I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic. So what I did then was I just added more tiers and carried on that way. And what eventually happened was I don't need to do commissions anymore private. All my income comes from Patreon. So that was an absolutely fantastic thing. Now, the key as well to becoming a commission painter is to not overprice your work. Now, the reason why I make a living directly just from Patreon is because I charge the minimal possible amount I can, and that is not to upset other miniature painters. What I can do is I am a speed painter, so I am able to paint 3, 4, 5, even up to 10 miniatures in a day. I paint to a tabletop standard. Now, this is where people get confused. You've got your showcase standard painters. Your showcase standard painters, they charge a lot more money, and they deserve a lot more money because their miniatures are for showcasing. For example, Gorilla with a Brush, he's a patron of mine, he's a fantastic friend, and he charges a lot more than I do, but he will take weeks on one miniature, where I will do one miniature in like 2 or 3 hours. But what I'm doing is my miniatures are painted to a tabletop standard, while his, that are going into the showcase, they're going into your display cabinets. Many people charge way too much for what they do. If you're painting to a tabletop standard, you can't be charging showcase prices, and this is where a lot of people are falling to the wayside. It's not about how fantastic your work is, because if you look at all the real showcase painters out there, many of us will never reach that standard, no matter how long we paint for. So what we do is we charge for our miniatures at a lower rate, a lower cost. I charge £10 only for one human-sized miniatures, and I think that is more than enough. It is to me. If I charge more than £10 for one of my human-sized miniatures, I would feel like I was ripping my customers off. But because I charge that much and I can get the work out, it means I can paint a lot more miniatures and still earn the same type of money as the pro painters are earning, because I have got that volume of miniatures to paint. So if you do charge a little less, you've got more chance of having more people commission you for work. So it is really important that you don't overcharge. You may think your painting is absolutely fantastic, but it means you probably won't get as many people wanting to commission you for a miniature. So my advice to everybody is start out firstly you have to build an audience, and the audience is most important, and it's the key to everything. Like I say, I started 2 years, I was posting pictures, and I started a YouTube channel and all the little things just to promote my work. I didn't take any money, I didn't earn any money, so you really have to think first about how it's going to work, but you really need that audience. Once you've built up your audience of followers and fans who love your work, then you can start a Patreon, then you can start your commissions, because you've got that following of people. They know, they respect your work, they know you're a hard worker. And that is another thing, when you do a commission painter as a full-time job, it isn't just sitting down at home just painting one miniature and relaxing. I start work around 4-5 o'clock every morning, and I finish around 10 o'clock at night, and I do that 7 days a week. Plus you have to work all your social media and post your tweets, talk to your patrons. It seems like it's a super easy job being a miniature painter. It is not. Anything in life you really have to work really hard on, and that's what I've done, and that's the only reason why I can say I am making a living doing commission painting, because I have put my whole heart, soul and love into what I do. Days off are not acceptable. But being a miniature painter is the best thing in the world. I mean, I am working from home. I'm working from home, I'm with my family, I'm with my animals, and I wouldn't dream of any other job. It is absolutely fantastic. So yes, what you do is promote yourself, and that's all you need to do. You've got to promote yourself on social media, get your work out there, keep posting pictures of your work, talk to people, share your interests on what you're painting, talk to the people that are on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, all these places. People want interaction with you, and as soon as you build that, you've become friends, and they will support you. Also, don't beg. I see a lot of people kind of begging. What I mean by begging is that it is you can be over pushy with people. People don't like to be nagged about things, so don't do that. Just be yourself and just post your pictures. Now, the other thing as well is, on all these places like Instagram and Twitter, what you'll find is there's thousands and thousands of small miniature companies. Now, the companies can be for 3D printing, they can be for the miniatures. I mean, for example, you've got Reaper Miniatures, Mantic Games, Games Workshop, you've got all the huge companies, WizKids Games. If you can keep painting their miniatures, you could get sponsored. Now, if you want to get sponsored by a company, don't wait for them to reach out to you, but don't push it straight away. Now, Reaper Miniatures, for example, I'm sponsored by Reaper Miniatures. I posted for years my Reaper Miniatures every day on Twitter, but it was me who got in touch with Reaper Miniatures and said to them, would you be interested in sponsoring me to do your miniatures, to show off your miniatures, and etc. And of course they got back in touch with me and said there's a form to fill in. I filled in the form, and of course now I am sponsored by Reaper Miniatures. It's the same with all the companies I'm sponsored by. If you get in touch with these different companies, they can either reply to you or they won't reply to you. I've had some sponsorships, of course, that they've got in touch with me and said, "Oh, could we do this for you? Can you paint our miniatures?" But some of these bigger companies, you need to get in touch with them, and just be polite in the email. Just say, "Look, I'm a miniature painter." What you do when you get in touch with the bigger companies, you send them links to your YouTube channel, your Twitter feed, because they want to see how well you're doing. If you've got lots of people following you on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter, then you've got more chance of these big companies thinking, well, this guy's got a lot of people, there's gonna be lots of views on what he's doing, and it'll be good for us, it'll be good for him, and you might get sponsored. So don't be shy to get in touch with these companies, but make your emails to them very polite, and don't beg. Just say how it is and say, "Look, this is what I'm doing. Would you be interested in sponsoring me to carry on?" I have 9 sponsors now from different companies, which is absolutely amazing. And once you get a few sponsors behind you, that also helps with your commissions and patrons, because they can see that, oh look, he's sponsored by somebody. He can't be just a one-time deal, that type of thing. So getting sponsors is also really important. It's not essential, but it really does help. And the last thing really is to keep painting. Always keep on whatever you're doing. Just keep on painting, keep on painting, keep on painting. Even if you don't get any work or any commissions, just keep painting your miniatures, because then you'll have a nice backlog of miniatures and you can take photos and do dioramas. And again, just keep on posting, because it will come if you put your full love into what you're doing. And that's what I've done. So there we are. That's the simplest way I can explain to you how to become a commission painter. It is very simple. It's all down to hard work and keep on posting all those fantastic miniature pictures all over social media. If you have any questions, you can ask me on my Twitter account. You can get in touch with me through Discord and my Patreon. All the links will be below the video. But please don't feel scared to get in touch with me. I will help anybody who wants to get into commission painting. So get in touch and I can help you as much as you need. So there we are. Until next time.